Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're asking one very simple question because a publisher, specifically Board Game Tables or All Play, the brand new name. If you are watching the Dice Tower, apparently they just sponsored like the entire season of content over there, so stay tuned. I saw that video go live at 6 a.m. They challenged us because they heard that we said that the Ghosts of Christmas was our favorite trick-taking game we'd found. Honestly, renewed my desire to continue playing trick-taking games.
Yes, which is a genre that I actually really like, and I've had to convince him to give some a try.
I had ran into, I'd probably say half a dozen trick-taking games that I just did not like, up until the point that I found Ghosts of Christmas. It's not that the games were bad. It's that I don't love the puzzle of sitting around and, usually they're lighter fare.
Yeah.
Usually they're more party game focused. You're slapping down cards, you're trying to double up on someone. Usually there feels like there's a point in the game where you're either out of options or you know the result. And I like things that give me more agency over what I'm playing. And Ghosts of Christmas was that for me.
Yeah.
Really, really remarkable game. It's a game where you're bidding on how many tricks you can win. It's a game where you're playing 3 tricks all at the same time. So we'll talk about this in detail. But the publisher came over to you
at PAX Unplugged, and he said that he knew that we like Ghosts of Christmas, especially Jesse, and handed me 9 Lives personally and said, give it a try. And they are also coming out with a new Kickstarter in about a week or so.
He specifically, for the record, told me he thought this would beat Ghosts of Christmas for me.
Did he?
So we'll talk about that. But very brazenly said, we know you love Ghosts of Christmas. 9 Lives is, in his opinion,
better.
And
our game group actually thinks that 9 Lives is better.
Ooh.
Our game group thinks 9 Lives is better. And they're coming out with a new Kickstarter that has another trick-taking game inside of it with some alternate twists and mechanics. And so I'm excited to back that Kickstarter. I believe it's February 7th, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm very interested to see what else Board Game Tables All Play comes out with as time goes on. It's going to take me a season to remember what their new name is. So let's talk about how these work, then let's get to our opinion. The play this, not that type of format, right? The final crux of what do we think is the thing that you keep in your collection? What should people be getting? If we're going to stand by a trick-taking game, is it going to be the historic one, Ghosts of Christmas, that you and I and our group loves? Or is it going to be 9 Lives, which is convincing some people in our group to switch their allegiances over? So I'll talk about Ghosts of Christmas. You pull over to 9 Lives afterwards. Ghosts of Christmas is going to be based off of the Christmas Carol story. You're going to be going from past to present to future, and you're going to be playing down multiple tricks in each one of those timelines. Now, you can actually add in a beyond cycle, which is going to add this up to 4 total tricks, which is very interesting. In trick-taking card games, usually you have a trump card, which is one color that beats everything else. And then you have a hand of variable numbers. Those variable numbers, you're going to be trying to play down matching suits. So if I play down a blue, someone else has to follow with a blue if they have one in their hand. If that blue happens to be lower, I'll win that trick, I'll win that point. If it happens to be higher, meaning I have to be strategic as to when I use different ranges of numbers, I will win that, or they will win that trick, and they'll lead the next one, deciding what suit it can be. Now, some of the ways that this stands out, some of the ways that this is different is, in order to win, you're going to be playing through a series of rounds. And every time you play, every round that you play, you're going to be bidding on how many tricks you can win. If you win that number of tricks, you're actually going to score points based off of that. If you don't, you're not going to score anything. So you have this crux, like how much do you gamble based off the cards you have at the very beginning of the puzzle. It means you're not trying to win every trick all the time. Sometimes you're strategically trying to throw tricks because you already have as many as you want, and other people are trying to play cards to get you to take more cards. The interesting thing that happens here, though, with the suits is how you actually go about scoring them. When you first start playing down in the first trick, it's going to be based off of the type of card that was played there. So if 2 people played down 2 blue cards, or if 1 person played down a blue card, you then start scoring by whoever has this little top hat, the first player, who's going to be the first person to put down a card. Then after that, though, based on who won the last trick or won the first trick, you're going to shift over to the middle, and whatever color card they played down is now the lead suit for the next trick. Red is going to be your trump card, which will neutralize everything, but this creates this fascinating puzzle where not only am I trying to predict what I'm going to be able to play out, what's going to be able to beat other numbers, what's going to be able to win me or score me the amount of tricks I bid on, but also what colors are going to win where, so that I can potentially counteract and throw a game or win a game, or other people can screw me over and have me win more suits than I want because I won the first one and then proceeded to win all of the other preceding ones. It's a lovely, complex.
The sequence you win is very important with who's going to win the next trick.
It's a lovely, complex, very thinky little trick-taking game with, honestly, the worst part about it by far being the theme. I wish it was rebranded. I wish it was rethemed. It just, it's one of those games where I would get rid of it for almost any reason if it wasn't the top of the top for me when it comes to trick-taking.
Game. Yep.
Okay.
9 Lives. 9 Lives is their newest trick-taking game, and it has some unique mechanics as well. It has 4 suits in them, and you are going to be dealing out the entire deck of cards based on the amount of players. It's either 3 to 4 players. However, the difference is the 4 suit colors are pink, purple, blue, and yellow. When you turn over the back of the cards, you see what suit every single one of your opponents has in their hands. So suits are not a secret here. You know if the next player next to you has a yellow card or a blue card or a purple card. Additionally, similar to Ghost of Christmas, you're going to be predicting how many suits you win by placing your cat down. You're going to be placing your cat down either covering 2 numbers, which would mean you're predicting you win 3 or 4 or 7 or 8 different tricks, or you're being very selective and saying, I'm going to win 4 or 8 tricks. The amount of points you get based on your prediction will be how exact you were. If you predict very exact, you'll get 4 points. If you were estimating, you'll get 2 points. If you're off and you lose, you'll get negative points. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be going around and you're going to be playing these tricks. The winner of the trick has to take one of the cards that was played down by someone other than themselves. And that's where you kind of get into the 9 lives, because there's going to be a minimum. You're always going to start with a deck of 9. You're going to start with a hand of 9 cards, but you might be playing through more than 9 tricks. It's not an exact amount of tricks because people are going to be constantly taking cards back. So suits that you might have thought were completely out of the game can get brought back in at the last moment. With someone who didn't start with a yellow card in their hand is forced to take a yellow card. There's the trump card in this is going to be purple, and it's interesting to see how you know what colors the other person has, but you don't know what numbers they are and where they're going to play and when they're going to play.
You find yourself looking around the table and trying to think of, what did they just get to pick up? Or do I want to play a set of low numbers to potentially win this because people are likely to throw this hand so that I can then pick up another hand? With your starting numbers, you know that you could always get another set of numbers in the same set of colors, but they'll never be higher than what your starting numbers already are. It also changes up how you interact with the purple card, which is the trump card, because you might throw that and everyone else plays a purple, and then you just get to pick up another purple, lower than the one you had, but still.
But still, you can force someone to play their 9, 8, and 7 purple, and then the 6, and if you held your 6, you know that your 6 is now the highest purple in the game, and you can for sure win another trick. It's a
very, very interesting puzzle. So, play this, not that. What are the highs? What are the lows? Where does the contrast actually start setting in? I've already established that I do not like the theme of Ghosts of Christmas.
Yes.
And I like the theme of 9 lives a lot more.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where I would be more likely to pull 9 lives off the shelf to play than Ghosts of Christmas, based off theme alone.
I think, in terms of accessibility, I think 9 lives is more accessible to bring out to the table. I think it is easier to teach someone the concept of trick-taking and bring out 9 lives, whereas Ghost of Christmas, I think there's a lot more potential for analysis paralysis. I think you could get really stuck looking around the table and trying to figure out where exactly to play this, which trick you're going to start, past, present, or future, in what order, and the predictions. There's a lot of analysis in there.
But at the same time, when you get over here to Ghost of Christmas, that degree of potential analysis paralysis means that there's also more choice to be made here. And I like how crunchy Ghost of Christmas is. I like the fact that when I have my hand, I'm thinking through the entire sequence of play. I'm trying to puzzle out and bid for the exact number I need to win from the very get-go. I'm sitting there playing potentially across, 3 or 4 different tricks, and all of that has to be mathed out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more known information. I think this feels like a very more Euro-style Ghost of Christmas.
Sure.
This one feels more like a lot more of like a dice-chucking
You're looking around and you're
game.
taking a risk. You're kind of getting a judgment call on it.
Yeah.
It is closer to the type of trick-taking games that I don't like as much, which is funny, because it still does have very interesting choices. Yeah. Both of the mechanics here are fascinating. The fact that you have public colors changes the way that you approach the game, and the fact here that you're playing against a cross-section of tricks, and the scoring suit could adapt based off of the puzzle of the game.
There's no set number of tricks in this game. It can go on for a really long, you can play 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 tricks.
It's until someone's completely out of cards.
Yeah, and so it's variable.
And then on top of that, they both have this bidding mechanic, which I really enjoy. I like that this one's more forgiving. You have a range that you're bidding against, and I like that this one gives you positive and negative points. Meaning that if everyone wants to screw one person over who's about to win, they can do that. Or if you want to go for the surefire victory and score 8 tricks in a single round, you could basically close off the game in two whole sessions.
I mean, Ghost of Christmas also has some level of forgiveness with the fact that you can take a red door or a purple door. The red door means you are going to be exact. The purple door means you're going to be exact with how many you're predicting. The red door means plus or minus.
I find the risk on Ghost of Christmas, though, when it comes to the vinyl scoring variable, means that no one's taking... Red limits it so you're only getting 1 point per door, whereas if you take an exact amount, you're getting 2 points per door, which really changes the puzzle. You have to score a lot more to make that worthwhile, and it really only comes into play at the very end, the third whole round of the game. So, push come to shove, do we think 9 Lives beats Ghost of Christmas? And then finally, if we're going to tell the audience, play this, not that, to choose one of these trick-taking games to play, what is the final verdict? Because we already said our game group is listing
Our game group has gotten rid of Ghost of Christmas in favor of 9 Lives.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I was the one who proposed to do this video, and the problem is that I'm going to be really bad and say we're keeping both.
Keeping both.
Keeping both. I like them both, and for the cost of them, I think that we should keep... I told you I was going to be very bad here. I like them both for so totally different reasons. I think they play 2 completely different games, and trick-taking is a really favorite genre of mine, and therefore we're keeping both in our collection. End of story.
I think Ghost of Christmas is the better game. I think it is. I like the puzzle. I like how in-depth it is. I like how you can kind of be precise or mathematical even while still playing a trick-taking game. I think 9 Lives is lovely. It is closer, though, to the type of trick-taking games that really just isn't my style. Happy to play it at any point. The problem is that I do think 9 Lives I'm more likely to pull off the shelf and play than Ghost of Christmas. I actually, plenty of times, think to myself, oh, I'd like to play Ghost of Christmas. Except I have a group over and I don't really want to pull out a Christmas game to play with them, especially during there's a few contradictions. First off, we don't celebrate Christmas, so that throws it off for us. I used to celebrate Christmas. Even then, I wouldn't have been a big fan because when you get beyond Christmas, you're not in the holiday season. You're not sitting around the table with friends. No one wants to be mid-July pulling out a game called Ghosts of Christmas to play. Whether or not you celebrate Christmas, that's too much Christmas. You put your lights away, you throw away the tree, you bring them back out after Thanksgiving next year.
And I don't think the theme is so important to the game play mechanic. I think you could have really based it on an entirely different theme.
Give me a robot theme or a sci-fi time traveling theme.
Yeah, I said sci-fi time traveling theme, and I think it would be a lot more accessible.
And I'm even fine if you want to do the Arcane Wonders style, rebrand the whole thing, but print the same exact game. You don't need to be innovative with
like Air, Land, and Sea and Critters at War.
Just give me some cute critters that like to time travel, call it a day, slap some stickers on it. I've already bought it twice now, maybe even more times. I think we've gifted this a few times. It's a lovely game. Yeah. If I was going to put down a verdict on it.
If you could only play one of these and not play the other for the rest of eternity, which one would it be?
So again, it's a very hard decision for me. Yeah. Mechanically, Ghost of Christmas, without a doubt. But
I'm in your boat. Mechanically, it is Ghost of Christmas.
I am a theme first, story first, experience first type of player. Yeah. And so I think in reality, 9 Lives is going to get more share at the table, but it's not based off of what the publisher argued. The publisher said it was because it was a stronger game. He thought I would like it more. Yeah. I don't.
I like the mechanics.
I just like the kitties.
I like the mechanics of Ghost of Christmas more. Yeah. And I'm not bothered by the theme. Yeah. So Ghost of Christmas, if I could only play one of these and not play the other, it'd be because my game group has 9 Lives, and therefore we're having Ghost of Christmas.
So that's a play this, not that. Whatever the case, though. Yeah. Whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Let's all play. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.